Um, I don't know if they was really mad for no reason. I mean, Nike was mad because you took their $200 shoe, infused it with blood, and then sold it for $1,018. Didn't include Nike at all. So there, nor did you get permission. Let's forget that. Let's not forget that, rather. So keep in mind that's not a damn partnership. A partnership means you contacted Nike first. Nike gave you clearance, or Nike gave you some specific shoe you could do that shit with, maybe your own. And this is Lala News 3, and thanks for tuning in to another episode. And in this episode, I'll actually be discussing Tony Hawk's Skateboard Blood, and then also that's going to be versus Lil Nas X's Satan Shoes. So, you guys know where to reach me at all social media platforms, Lala News 3, including podcasting, YouTube, and everywhere else social media wise. Also, email lmfiercereview@gmail.com for business inquiries. So, I'll get right into this one. Tony Hawk actually recently announced that he had a partnership with Liquid Death, which is actually a water company, believe it or not. You know, that's what they do. And they actually agreed to release 100 skateboards at $500 a piece, and they would all be infused with Tony Hawk's blood into the red paint to stretch out and create this. So it would actually be including his blood that is actually drawn out of a vial that they also stated was cleaned. So there's no hazards there on that. But 5,000, well, basically it was 100 skateboards at $500 a piece, which of course that would be a $50,000, $50,000 proceeds. However, they will be donating 10% of the proceeds, which would be $5,000, to charities. 5 Gear, which they work to reduce plastic pollution in the oceans, and then also the Skate Park Project, which builds skate parks in underserved communities. So Liquid Death, actually the company that partnered with him, with Tony Hawk rather, they actually did make a social media post stating, yes, oh, quote, excuse me, yes, there's actually at Tony Hawk's real blood in these skateboards, and yes, we sterilize it first. Own your very own piece of the Birdman today. Although it could arguably make the world a better place, never ever use these boards to make clones of Tony Hawk. I don't know why they would actually mention cloning in that. I don't know how cloning is relevant when, remember, cloning is supposedly, no one admits to cloning. However, I will admit that I was personally, I'm from California, so we're a little advanced, especially in regards to technology. So when I was in the 5th grade, which that was a long time ago, so I won't get into the actual date and time there, but I did go on a field trip to see the first clone sheep in a tank with the tubes and everything connected to it. So cloning is very real, and it's been very real for decades. Okay, so I don't know what that will have to do with Tony Hawk donating proceeds of a partnership, of skateboards with a partnership, though. I don't know how that will be related, but I'm just saying that was mentioned, and that was the statement provided by Liquid Death in regards to the promotion there online now. Lil Nas X actually is pretty salty, and I guess you guys probably know why. So in March, he actually released some blood-infused Nikes that he called Satan shoes. And Nike wasn't having that shit, so they pulled them shoes off the market, sued his ass, so he would have to actually pull them off the market there in that case. Keep in mind, those shoes were $1,018 that Lil Nas X had sold his shoes for, and then they got recalled, therefore, after that. Okay. And he actually, Lil Nas X, made a social media post saying, now that Tony Hawk has released skateboards with his blood painted on them, and there was no public outrage, are y'all ready to admit y'all were actually upset over the blood in the shoes? And maybe you were mad for another reason. I don't know if they was really mad for no reason. I mean, Nike was mad because you took their $200 shoe, infused it with blood, and then sold it for $1,018. Didn't include Nike at all. So there, nor did you get permission. Let's forget that. Let's not forget that, rather. So keep in mind, that's not a damn partnership. A partnership means you contacted Nike first. Nike gave you clearance, or Nike gave you some specific shoe you could do that shit with. Maybe your own. Didn't know. You don't know because you didn't probably ask them about that. You just bought up a bunch of shoes, put some blood in it with somebody else you partnered with, and then sold them shits. And people bought them. And then that didn't go well because you did it with another shoe. Tony Hawk, for instance, not only is he donating some of the proceeds, so that always looks good, of course, for optics, and also, you know, to give back, which you should damn do anyway. Most celebrities do. That's why when they go on game shows and stuff, it's usually they're donating to a charity. That's not money that they're taking home. So things are a little different there on that. But Lil Nas X, your ass should have reached out to Nike first, and he actually decided, Tony Hawk rather, decided to do a real partnership with a company. And so there's clearances and agreements back and forth between those two parties, which is a big difference than what you did. So wasn't nobody hating on your little blood shoes and whatnot. Just go get you some, you know, if you went and got some XJ900s, or you went and did what Soulja Boy did, bought some off-brand shit from overseas, put your picture on it, and then said it's your product now, then you probably would be winning. But being as Nike shit, who got lots of lawyers, billions of dollars, and that niggas gonna buy every day, then that probably wasn't a good idea. Okay? It's my opinion. My opinion. But this should get interesting. I just want to let you know that the batch that they did have out, the 100 skateboards, FYI, once again, they are sold out. So, unless they plan on coming up with another batch, they made their 50 bands, and they good to go with that. And he said that there'll be future partnerships with them as well in the future. So, we'll see what those partnerships may be, because I'm sure he signed a contract for a pretty penny. And so, you know, they had to, even though they only made 50 bands off that, they'll have other partnerships that'll, that was just a tester to see how fast they could sell them, trust me. Okay, so, let me know what you guys think. Like, share, subscribe. This is Lala News 3, and I'm out.